Hi, welcome to Fertility Talks, and I'm your host, Mary Wong. Welcome, and tonight we're going to have an awesome conversation about progesterone. But before we do, let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist, founder of Alive Holistic Health Clinic, author of Pathways to Pregnancy, and your life and fertility coach. And tonight, when we talk about progesterone, I have a lovely guest here who has basically pioneered an awesome thing. And Amy, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Great. And I'm so thrilled to have found Amy. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before we go into a deep dive about progesterone. Okay. So Amy Beckley, she is a pharmacological PhD, and she has developed and is the founder of and the CEO of MFB Fertility. And she had made a product, and it's on the market since 2017. And it is called Prove. Is that how I pronounce it?
Yep, absolutely.
Or Ovulation Double Check. And again, we're going to go into it in a sec. But these are progesterone strip tests, like using urine. But I want to talk a little bit about the details behind, or the innovation behind it. Just so that the audience gets a sense of who you are and why you're passionate about creating this product. Can you tell us a little bit about your background history, personal history?
Yeah, sure. Well, first, thank you for having me. I have a PhD in pharmacology. I've been studying hormone signaling for the past 15 years and got married, decided to start a family, and it just wasn't easy for us. We went through 3 years of infertility. We had 7 losses. And we did 2 rounds of IVF, and we had a son, and I was very blessed. And at the end of that, I said, okay, I want to add to my family. I want to have a second child, but I'm not doing the IVF. It's too emotional. It's too expensive. And so I kind of sat down, slowed down, learned about my cycle, and I realized with the help of my doctor that I had low progesterone. And so since I was a scientist and I was under the care of a physician, I started thinking about this idea of progesterone. And to get pregnant with my daughter, I actually used $200 worth of progesterone supplements to keep me pregnant, as opposed to needing $30,000 in IVF treatments. And so I kind of came out of the closet once I had my children and said I was infertile. I was the 1 in 8 couples. I was dealing with this. And so many of my friends and family kind of came out of the woodwork, and they're like, Amy, what'd you do? What'd you do? And I kept coming back to this idea of progesterone. So wouldn't that be great if we enabled and gave women the power to test progesterone themselves? And if they could help diagnose themselves and go to the doctor and say, here's what I think my options are, what my problem is, and could get that treatment faster and more cost effective, they could build their families more efficiently. So
Right.
that's kind of the story about why I developed this test.
Well, and I think what an amazing thing. When I heard about it, which was very recently, I was so excited because it's true. There's a lot of women out there that do not even know about what progesterone is. So actually, we need to say what progesterone is. Do you want to handle that?
Sure. So progesterone is released after you ovulate. So the follicle that the egg grows in, it grows and grows, and it releases the egg. And then it becomes what's called the corpus luteum. And it now secretes estrogen as well as progesterone. And that progesterone prepares the uterus for conception and supports that pregnancy throughout the entire 9 months of gestation. So progesterone is very important. So if you want, a couple reasons why you'd want to measure progesterone is, one, are you ovulating? Are you ovulating properly? Do you have enough progesterone in your system to receive that embryo and protect it? And then do you have enough progesterone to support that pregnancy? So yes. It's very important. It's progesterone. So it's for gestation. So it's the main pregnancy hormone.
That's right. And it helps to thicken the lining. So those of you who are at the fertility clinic, right, they're always measuring how thick your lining is. And so that's a huge contributing factor to the thickness of your lining.
Right, and it stabilizes it and makes it receptive for an embryo to implant.
Exactly. And what I love about your test, so you can talk, did you bring like a little show and tell kit so that we can see?
I did.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, show and tell. Okay. it's important. And the thing is, wow, having this test makes you not even have to go to any doctor, right? And especially if everything's a-okay, this will help you see that everything's a-okay. However, if it's not registering on the strip that you're going to show us, then it's like, oh, gee, maybe I need to go see a doctor. Maybe I need to go on progesterone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think it makes the process easier. And for those of you who has been with me for a while, I always refer to the study by, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind right this second. But Alice Domar, right, out of Boston, where she has found that women going through fertility treatment at a fertility clinic, the stress involved is equal to that of someone going through cancer or heart disease.
Oh, so absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you invest your life savings and do something that you really, really, really want to work. I mean, there's so much stress in that.
Absolutely. All right. So show and tell.
All right. So we're actually in the middle of a rebrand. So our product right now, if you were to look it up, it's called Ovulation Double Check. We're moving to this new packaging. It's called Prove, like this. This is the packaging.
As in pro-ovulation?
Right, progesterone ovulation test, or Prove.
Right.
So you're proving that you're ovulating, because progesterone proves after you ovulate, and you're proving that you have enough progesterone to support a pregnancy.
Absolutely.
So basically, this is a kit. It comes with 7 of these strips, just like this. So you would open the strip, and you would take one out, so it looks like this.
Okay.
So you would collect your first morning urine in a cup. You would dip the strip in urine for 3 to 5 seconds. Then you would lay it flat on a surface. I mean, this works just like an ovulation or a pregnancy.
Exactly.
It just measures a different hormone. You lay it flat, and then after 5 minutes, you read your results. I'll try to get it close. And so basically, you're looking for 1 versus 2 lines. The thing that we're a little bit different is that 1 line on our test is positive, whereas 2 lines is negative. So it's kind of counterintuitive. Like a pregnancy test is 2 lines is positive, 1's negative. Ours is the opposite, just because of the way progesterone works. But I mean, it's a very simple, 5-minute test. You can measure progesterone. There's no labs. There's no pricking your finger. It's easy as peeing in a cup and waiting 5 minutes. So.
And then did you actually pee in the cup? I guess.
I can get that target. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That part, I don't have tips for you guys. You're on your own. It gets a little messy. It's okay. You can clean up.
Yeah. We don't have the midstream format just yet where you can actually pee on the stick. But it's interesting about that is those cassettes, the midstream cassettes that those pregnancy tests in, are very expensive, and it's just plastic. So in order to make this come to market at a cost-effective price point, we went with the very naked strip. So
awesome.
So there's that extra step of having to pee in a container first, but we feel like that's much more valuable, and we give more tests per kit. So each kit you can measure progesterone 7 times.
Awesome. And then so typically in a cycle, then how many times are you recommending people test?
It depends on what their goal is for that cycle. We have a lot of women that just use our test for fertility awareness, just knowing their cycles, confirming ovulation. And for them, they can use 2 or 3 tests a cycle. So we like to have somebody do a baseline test early in their cycle just to see what a negative test look like, because it is a different format. And then 3 or 4 days after ovulation, they take a test again. Single positive tells them, yes, I've ovulated. I've confirmed it. Another application would be if they're not sure they're producing enough progesterone to support pregnancy. We recommend testing between 7 and 10 days after ovulation. And so that's the window where implantation occurs. And so we want to make sure your levels are high enough during that whole window for that embryo to have enough hormone on board that it can really create a good environment for the embryo to survive.
Yeah, that's key.
Is the woman that's dealing with recurrent miscarriages. I've had 7, and every time I see that positive pregnancy test, I should be happy, but I'm just so scared. I'm just so scared. And so one thing that I feel that I can do is measure my progesterone. And so I'll do it every day at the beginning, every other day, maybe every week, just to say, yes, my progesterone is great. If I start seeing those levels drop, I, either get on supplements or I increase my supplement dose.
Right. Okay. So you're telling us, you're using it after ovulation to make sure that the progesterone actually did increase to help with implantation at between 7 to 10 days. I'm just reiterating. And then for those who have had recurrent miscarriages or even one miscarriage is enough, then you can look at it even after you actually get the positive pregnancy to make sure that your progesterone is stabilized. And if not, then you go immediately to your doctor and get supplement. Yes?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So we can confirm ovulation. Maybe a woman with PCOS can't really use typical ovulation tests very well. Their LH is always kind of high. These tests work great for them. So maybe it's a good tool for them to show that yes, they are ovulating or no, they're not, and then go seek help. But it's also, for the woman who's worried about low progesterone to help diagnose it and help the physician treat that if need be. And it also can be treated with diet supplements. I'm a big fan of Vitex. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Diet changes and some herbals work wonders for balancing hormones.
Absolutely. So I just want to add in here, not everybody does well on Vitex. So my recommendation would be for you to actually seek someone out that is specializing within that field. So either a doctor of Chinese medicine or a naturopathic doctor. I'm not sure in the States what other kinds of physicians use Vitex, but certainly the naturopaths do.
Right.
Okay, so then let me ask you, are people using the ovulation predictor kits, the OPKs, with this, or are some people using the progesterone testing alone? How do we use it?
Right, most of the time we use it in combination. So it's just another tool in the toolbox. So a lot of people will monitor their fertile period with looking either cervical mucus, or they'll do the ovulation test, or they'll do like a clear blue fertility monitor, those kind of things to check their fertile window. And then they confirm it with our test. You can use it alone. We typically say whatever your average cycle length is, subtract 10 days and start testing then.
Okay, so you were mentioning how you wanted to make the price point really good. So first of all, how much is it retailing and where are we getting it from?
Retail, it's $39.99. So it's about $5 per strip to test. Right now we sell on our website and we also sell on Amazon.com. So our main market is the US market. So we are on Amazon. Amazon can ship to the US. Our website, we can ship to US, Canada, and Australia.
Okay, great. So meaning, so we can, for the Canadians out there, we are not able to get it through Amazon.ca then?
Right, no.
No. Okay, so then for Canadians and Australians watching, you get it directly through your website, which is www.mfbfertility.com.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Can you tell me what again the MFB stands for?
My Fabulous Basement. We got very frustrated with the lack of fertility tools that consumers had at their fingertips and thought it was very unfair that we had to go through the healthcare system, had to wait a year of infertility, had to wait for, get this, 3 consecutive losses before anybody will treat you for recurrent miscarriage, which is absolutely absurd. That's enough to go woman crazy.
I know. It's changing a little bit, at least here in Canada. I'm not sure about the States, but it's
oh my gosh.
I know, it's insane.
Nobody was making innovative products. It was like the same ovulation test redone. I was like, no, we need to give more options, measure other hormones. And so I was like, you know what? If no one's going to do this, I'm just going to go in my basement and I'm going to do it. And then
love it.
I'm kind of stuck.
And here we are with Prove. I love it. Okay, I have a question from Dr. David Bray here. Thanks for being here, David. Does the kit include any reference ranges that people should reference to within the kit?
Yes. So the kit comes with an instruction sheet like this, where it shows kind of, it's upside down, sorry, graphs of what the hormone looks like if you were to conceive and what the hormone levels, typical levels are if you do not conceive. And we do have a threshold value. So our test measures progesterone metabolites in urine. And so we've done a lot of studies that look at the correlation between the urine metabolites and the serum levels, and they correlate very well. And kind of coming in the field is when we get a positive, it's roughly 8 to 10 nanograms per mil or per microliter of 10 nanograms per mil of serum progesterone,
which is the prerequisite for fertility.
Right. It's the minimal level of progesterone typically needed to support a pregnancy. And so that's kind of the cutoff that we determined.
Right. So if you're not getting any positive, that definitely does mean you want to go get some extra progesterone. And then I would advise you would go seek your physician out, whether it's fertility doctor or maybe even, I guess GPs would even work there if you're not at a fertility clinic. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we advocate that this is a detection tool. It's not used to diagnose anything. It's used to give you more information, give you more, empower you to ask your physician the right questions, better questions. Advocate for yourself.
Absolutely. Okay, so last important question. So a lot of people are using basal body temperature, and you'll see the biphasic graph, so meaning that your temperature should be on the lower side and then there should be a spike and stays up in after you ovulate. Mm-hmm. So do you work in conjunction with this? Are they using in place of this? Tell me more about that.
We have people that use it in conjunction or replaces it altogether. There's a few things that we are different. So with our test, you only need to take it one time. You get one positive and you're done. You confirmed ovulation. So that get rid of the daily temperature monitoring, which is important if you're nursing, if you have toddlers, if your sleep schedule is not right, if you drank alcohol the day before, if you just aren't getting that consistent temperature rating. This is a good alternative. We can also supplement basal body temperature monitoring in that we can give you a level. So even if you had that increase, that 0.5 degree increase, and it shows that you've ovulated, you might not be producing enough progesterone to support a pregnancy. I had beautiful temperature charts, but I wasn't producing enough progesterone, and I had no idea because I was like, oh, well, I'm ovulating. I don't, my progesterone must be fine, but it wasn't.
Okay, so that's good to know. So you had the biphasic curve, so it looked as though it was normal in your baby T.
Right.
Great to know. So that's something to know for everyone out there, that it's not necessarily, a guarantee, right? Just like sometimes when you catch the LH surge, even in the ovulation predictor kit, that's also not 100%, as you know, as we all, well, not everybody knows, but we know. And so sometimes you catch the LH surge, but then it may not be enough to actually fully trigger an ovulation.
Right. They're doing studies, and it's like 66 to 70% of the surges actually are ovulatory. So
are not.
Are ovulatory.
Okay. Right. Okay. Which leaves a lot that are not, like, over 25%. So
right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's a huge number.
Yeah, it is. So I have another comment, I believe, here. Ashley, thank you so much for chiming in. They made us have 3 losses as well before further testing, MTHFR genetic. All was normal, however. No answers found or why we have had all our losses. Good for you for coming up with another tool for people to try to conceive, to have and be able to use. Oh, thanks. That's really lovely.
Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't help issues of MTHFR gene mutation if that's what you have.
Right. Hormonal imbalances account for about 15 to 20% of miscarriages. Mm-hmm. So I'm not here to tell you, progesterone test is the only answer. I'm just saying it's just another tool. And if we can help that 15 to 20% of women be successful, I mean, that we did our job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I like to say, it's $39.99 kit to help you determine whether you need IVF or you need some other invasive testing. It could be peace of mind, and it could be, it could be your problem. I don't know.
I'm just trying to see how much that is in Canadian dollars. Hang on. $39.99, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Canadian dollars, it's a little bit more for us, but still it's a lot cheaper than doing,
So
I
we
think.
do have a promo code on our website.
All
It's
right.
SAVE, SAVE 12. So if you enter that into our website at checkout, you'll save 12% on your order.
Awesome. Okay, hear that, guys? That'll help us for sure. Because right now it's 52.12 in Canadian dollar. But so save, SAVE,
Yep.
12.
12.
All right. Thank you. That's awesome. I love it. Okay. Nope. No other comments. Anything else to add? Anything we didn't cover? Last words of wisdom.
Intuition is very meaningful. As a woman that's gone through and tried infertility and tried to advocate for herself, you'll come across doctors that won't listen to you. They won't want to test you for whatever it is you think it is. That's not your doctor. Go try somebody else. There's a lot of people out there that want to help you be successful. It takes a tribe sometimes to create a child and to raise a child. And
Yeah.
surround yourself by positive influences. The journey is rough sometimes, absolutely. So it's important to get the resources, get the help that you need. And so it's great, to have such an amazing community around you that can support you and to help you.
Well, and that's why we're here. And that's why I thank you for being here to be part of our village. And certainly that's what I subscribe to be myself. And then that's why we create this fertility talks. And that's why I wrote my book, Pathways to Pregnancy. So if you don't have that book, please go ahead and get that. And you can check out my website, marywong.life, or scroll down for many more videos, because now I have 95. And this is my volunteer job, by the way, Amy. Every Wednesday.
I've done this all out of the goodness of my heart. I've not been paid a dime for all the stuff that I've done because it's that important for me.
Absolutely. So I love it that us women come together, and, for us who have struggled in the journey, it's like this journey is not over, because we want to now help out and reach others to have and build the family of their dreams. Right. So Thank you for being a part of that. Yeah. And just as a last announcement, in the first Sunday of August, if you haven't already checked it out, please join me for my fertility circle. And that is through a private platform. So it's unlike Facebook, where, I know that most people don't even like my posts because they have fear that their friends will find out what they're liking. So they just watch it. But here it's an actual platform that you can join in, ask questions, and not worry about who's watching you or knowing about your private matter. And I'm here to mentor you and coach you in your journey. It'll be an hour and a half to 2 hours. And certainly I'm catering a huge chunk of time for actually Q&A. But the first half, at least, I'm going to be talking about different topics. And this one specifically is about bringing the joy back into your life, which is so important, because when we're so hyper-focused on our fertility journey, oftentimes we forget about living our lives day to day. So we really need some strategies and some support around it. And so I'll give you tactical information so that you can tackle your life and actually live your life with some joy in moment to moment. Okay. So thank you all for being here tonight, and join me next week, next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll have another interview. And, I never check who's in front of me next time, but it's always going to be awesome. So please come and join me. And again, thank you so much, Amy, for being here. I love it that you're giving back to all the women and couples that are going through the issues.
Yeah.
And I can't forget that it's so important. I love it that you added in for those people that are just, taking charge of their own menstrual health. So people that are not even trying to conceive.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I think that is very proactive, because if you're a young person, so you know what, if you have friends that are not even in a position to try to conceive yet, this kind of testing would be fabulous, because they get to learn about their own bodies a bit more, and then to see if there's actually issues, so that by the time they want to try to conceive, it'll be so much easier. Right.
Right.
All right. Thank you once again, and have a great evening, and I'll see y'all next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And oh, right, check out marywong.life, and that's where you can sign up for my coaching program and where you can find my book. And again, the website for the strips is mfbfertility.com. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Mwah.